Let's have a quick chapter view of reading number 35. This pertains to the GIPS. The first session will be of the GIPS overview, wherein we'll just discuss the basic points about the GIPS, like what is it mandatory or voluntary set of standards, and what is the fundamental principles behind it, and how many sections it got divided, and each section will be applicable to whom. Okay, and then who is the clients, who is the investors, and all. And then we'll be talking about the objective scopes and GIPS. So what is the ultimate the very purpose of this GIPS, the global investment performance standards. And then the important terms, like what is composite segregated account, pooled accounts, pooled funds. So in pooled funds, what are the types? What we have, like broad distribution pooled funds and limited distribution pooled funds, and the kind of scope, the scope of this GIPS. And then we'll be talking about the benefits of the GIPS, both to the prospective clients and investors, and also the investment managers. And then now we'll be the further we'll just have a look over what is the how many sections it has, and what is the kind of things that each section is having. So we'll be starting with the fundamentals of compliance. GIPS standards is again divided into 8 parts, and we'll be going through each one. And fundamentals of compliance. Fundamentals of compliance basically talk about like and what the GIPS should be applied on a firm-wide basis. So what is meant by firm? For example, if you have 2-3 branches, or if you have 2-3 companies, subsidiaries, associates, so is it all the companies should be following the GIPS compliance, or any one company can follow and claim the GIPS compliance? So those are the things we'll be seeing. Distinct business entities, and what exactly when you can call two branches are independent to each other. And then the total firm assets, fair value of the total firm assets, like each firm will be showing like how much value size, how much asset size that they are handling. So what and all the ingredients, what and all need to be added together to arrive at the total firm assets. And then the difference of the fair value, discretionary assets, non-discretionary assets will be going through. Why discretionary, non-discretionary? Because discretionary assets only will be considered for the performance calculation, and non-discretionary will be however considered for the firm total assets. Other compliances, compliance fundamental points, and we'll be seeing. And this is the most important, like the written calculation, how actually the performance being calculated, meaning the most common one is the ending value minus beginning value divided by beginning value. However, when in case of the cash flows, when there is an internal cash flows, external cash flows, how it need to be treated. And also if this particular the chapter has given us 3 to 4 of methodologies of calculation: money weighted return, and modified diets return, modified internal rate of return, true or exact weighted time weighted return. So we need to see when to be used what. And we have seen the examples that covers different scenarios: market volatility, flat market, and steadily. So we will be discussing on those things, and certain important points that relation to the measurements. So we'll be covering all those, some around 11 important points that we have summarized to. And then the composites, what we have discussed before, the composite is a group of portfolios that are having a similar investment mandate, similar investment objectives, similar investment strategy. So we'll be clubbing it together. And then how we compute. So previously we have seen the calculating the portfolio performance, and now we'll be seeing the methods of calculating the composite performance. There are 3 types: beginning values, I mean this is based on the weighted average. So you already calculated the portfolio performance, right? You have in each composite, for example, say for 50 portfolios of different sizes. So how you will give the weightage to each portfolio based on the beginning value, or the beginning value plus external cash flows, or the aggregate method. So we will be seeing certain examples over this. And then the discretion and composite, so which we are discussing before, when you can say it is a discretionary, or when you can say it is a non-discretionary portfolio. So those are the points that we will be discussing here. And then so what kind of portfolio should be included, what should not be included, what kind of portfolios are optional. So these are the points that we'll be seeing. And then the restrictions, the inclusion and exclusions. So if a portfolio joined in between a month, if you are showing the monthly returns, and one particular portfolio joined in between the month, or it got exited in between the month, so how you need to treat it. Switching the portfolios from one composite to the other composite, so how it need to be considered. And significant cash flows, when there is a significant cash flows, inflows or outflows have happened, so how you need to make the performance calculation. So minimum asset levels, what is if there are certain minimum asset levels for a portfolio to be part of composite, then how you will be treating it. So these are the different scenarios that we are going to see. And portfolio, okay, this is one example that we have seen. Presentation and reporting. Performance history, how many years of performance history to be shown, like minimum 5 years, and it has to be continued for the 10 years. It need to be, so total overall around 10 years of comparables will need to be shown. Returns and sizes measures, and risk. So along with performance, you also need to show the risk, which in other words like a standard deviation. The risk, certain risk like internal composite dispersion, the benchmark dispersion, composite dispersion. So we'll be seeing what is this internal dispersion and all those things. Then the portability means like one investment management firm got acquired by another investment management firm. So in that case, the previous history of the merged firm, can it be considered? If can it be claimed by the new firm? So what are the conditions that are need to be followed? So and advisory and only assets. So in this case, like investment management firm is not doing the entire, they are just going giving the advisory services. So in that case, can they include in the total firm assets, and they have some uncalled but committed capital, how they need to treat it? So these things we will be seeing. Valuation hierarchy, previously we have seen the fair value, right? So fair value, what is a fair value? You mean like between two knowledgeable persons, but then if it is an active market, what kind of prices need to be taken? If it is an inactive market, what kind of prices to be taken for calculating the beginning and ending values? GIPS verification, this is just like an audit. So a third party can make a GIPS verification of all the policies, procedures, performance calculations, and composite constructions, everything they'll be doing. So what are the benefits, how, what kind of GIPS will verify to be selected, and few other points we'll be covering it over here. The scope of GIPS verification, and the GIPS verification process, how the planning, the verifier should plan it first, and then sample selection to be decided, and then testing of the component, the testing stage to be done. So what and all that you need to test, like record keeping, policies, procedures, input data, and other things. So these are the things that we are going to see quickly. And then the practice problems will there are around 23 practice problems, so which we will be going through one by one. Okay, let's see in the detailed session. So this is just a glance through session, what and all the uh, the contents of this particular chapter. So this is coming to around 6 pages. Thank you.